right. Good morning to you if you're on the West Coast, otherwise good afternoon. I'm Mushu, and today on the Lotus Council Twitch channel, we're going to be doing a box break of Double Masters 2022 for one of our members, WoWo. He bought the box for us and bought the box for himself and thought that it would be cool if we opened it on stream. So that's what we're doing this morning. Morning for me. All right, welcome. Let's take a look. Get a little trusty out. I'm not sure if this is actually doing sound, so let me just check. I'll be right back. Testing, testing. Okay. Sounds like it's working. Great. All right. Now we're getting started. I think we should just cut to the chase. Oh, wow. No pun intended, I swear. Or maybe I'll have to use that one from now on, huh? Double Masters. So, I have mixed feelings about this set. I think, don't get me wrong, as a reprint set, it's great. It has a lot of good reprints in it. You know what I actually have mixed feelings about is Wizards' policy of not setting an MSRP for their products. I feel like it's pretty exploitive, honestly, because it really drives prices up for consumers, it seems. I understand that businesses need to make money, and I do see the side of this where, you know, not having an MSRP will allow stores to sort of set the market. But at the same time, like, we're paying a lot of money for these boosters, and it's nearly a third over what it was last time. And it's an accessibility issue, right? Like, we want people to have access to these reprints, but by putting them in a set with a limited print run and no MSRP, you really take away the ability of you know, the average Magic player to, you know, buy packs. Now, cards are a different story. It's nice to see the singles prices going down. But if you want to draft this, I mean, these are draft boosters, right? Like, it's a set that's created to draft. If you want to draft these, you're lucky to find a draft at $60. It's kind of crazy, right? And then, yeah. Anyway, rant over. We've got Mimeoplasm as our card on top, art card. I called it I called it a box topper last time, and I got corrected. But oh, I corrected myself. It's not a box topper. It's just an art card that sits on top of the packs. Anyway, all right. WoWo, good luck today, sir. And I do not have to mix them up because I'm just cracking for one person. Do you like my Phyrexian Angel playmat? I like it too. Great. Hello, WoWo. Welcome to the stream. Okay, I should be doing this on stream. I'm glad that I'm doing this at a time where you can join. I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to. Yes, mine is signed in gold. This is a great playmat. I love this playmat. I actually wanted him to go a different direction, but I'm glad he landed on Angel. But, you know, looking at this playmat, this is a sweet art. Anyway. Our first foil is Cartel Aristocrat. I'm going to put these up here. Our second foil is Seeker Squire. And our first rare is Necrotic Ooze. Necrotic Ooze. So for, what am I doing here? For black, and 2, you get a 4/3 creature Ooze. As long as Necrotic Ooze is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all creature cards in all graveyards. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a fun rare, at least. I have not. Here we go again with this. I do not have the prices pulled up today, but I think we're pretty good at figuring out which ones are good in terms of finance. Okay, so second rare, Wasitora Nakaru Queen. For green, red, black, and 2, so 5 total mana. You get a 5/4 legendary creature, cat, dragon, with flying and trample. Oh, I like that. Whenever Wasatora Nekoru Queen deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. If the player can't, you create a 3/3 black, red, and green cat dragon creature token with flying. That's pretty cool. I think it's cool. Scale Blessing, Vamp Charm, go for the throat. Those are our uncommons, and let's see if we have any interesting... Oh, there's one. We got Shadowborn Apostle as our interesting common. Alright. Next up. I think I decided these don't have a notch. Oh, but they do have a notch. Excellent. 4 token, Cryptic Spires, Blood Artist foil. That's nice. Momentary Blink foil. The Mimeoplasm, our cover star here. I was going to say cover creature, but that cover creature? It's a blue-green, black, and 2 for 0/0 legendary creature Ooze. That's 5 total mana. As the Mimeoplasm enters the battlefield, you may exile 2 creature cards from graveyards. If you do, it enters the battlefield as a copy of one of those cards with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on it equal to the power of the other card. That's kind of pretty nifty. That's nifty. We got Mikaeus the Lunarch as our second rare. White and X. You get a 0/0 legendary creature, Human Cleric. Mikaeus the Lunarch enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, and you can tap to put a +1/+1 counter on it, or you can tap and remove a +1/+1 counter on it to put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. And hello, Court, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. River Hoopo. Path to... Oh, a path. That's interesting. Okay, how am I doing this? Uninteresting, interesting. Okay. You can't really see those ones, though, unfortunately. I could do it if it was over here. Okay, well, we'll just... Sorry, I should have set this up beforehand, but I did not think to do so, which was obviously very silly. Rares. Those are uninteresting. Although, yeah, this one. Everything's crooked on my screen. What is that? Shadowborn Apostle is interesting. Sorry, I need to do this beforehand, so I apologize. Okay. Any interesting comments? No? Nothing too interesting. Okay. Sorry about that. I have a tendency to want to organize a lot. I'm a little bit ADHD in that way, so... Ooh, a foil Judas the Scourge Diva. This is a fun card. I don't think it's a money card, but maybe the foil is worth money. I'm going to stop talking about money. I don't have the prices pulled up. For red, black, 1, 3 total mana, you get a 2/2 legendary creature, Human Shaman. Other creatures you control get +1/+0. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Judith, the Scourge Diva, deals 1 damage to any target. Cool. So that's like a Aristocrats type card. We've got back right now. Ooh, Warrior's Oath. I think, yeah, this is a really good card. This is one that I've been waiting for, actually. So for red, you get a sorcery, a mythic rare. Take an extra turn after this one. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. I mean, give a little, get a little, I guess. That one's super interesting. Tanem the Harvester, green, black, white, and 3. So 6 total mana, you get a 6/6 flying, 6/6 legendary creature, dragon, with flying. Whenever Taneb the Harvester deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 and a black. If you do, put target creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Indeed. Harvesting, indeed. Not Left Troll, Young Pyro, Lightning Helix, and then nothing really to speak of there. Well, that's a good hit. Warrior's Oath. Court asks, what's the other red card that does that? I want to say Warrior's Oak is the one from Portal, and the other one is... I can't remember. I'm sure someone will look it up. Spider, Cryptic Spires, Terminate, that's pretty cool. Permanent foil. Go for the Throat and Glimpse the Unthinkable. Leonin Arbiter is our first rare. For white and 1, you get a 2/2 creature, Cat Cleric. It should be over here. Players can't search libraries. Any player may pay 2 for that player to ignore this effect until end of turn. Ignoring effects. And we... Did I skip one? Oh no, yeah, I'm sorry. Orzhov Pontiff, ooh, an interesting Dimir Aqueduct. Lord Omen. Okay. These backwards. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm gonna make a diagram of this and use it from now on because I think this is the best way to open these packs. Let's just Crypt Expires, Settle Beyond Reality, Advanced Stitchwing, and a Cataract Leviathan. For blue, and 6, you get a 5/5 creature Leviathan. When Cataract Leviathan enters the battlefield, return all other non-land permanents to their owner's hand, and it has Unearth 6, which means you can hit the battlefield and then get exiled at the end of the turn as a sorcery. Okay, that's cool. Splinter Fright. We have a, for green and 2, you get a star creature elemental with Trample. Splinter Fright's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill 2 cards. Good card. Scab Clan Giant, Unburial Rites, and Terminate. You have an interesting Seeker. Oh, and an interesting Monastery Swiftspear. That's cool. I've seen that combo before, actually, in a single pack. That's a cool combo because those are staple pauper pieces. Final Fortune. Thank you, Court. Egg, Spires, Thought Scour, Grapple with the Past. Oh, Forbidden Orchard. That's interesting. Forbidden Orchard is a land. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. And then whenever you tap Forbidden Orchard for mana, target opponent creates a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. I like that land. Nim Deathmantle. Yeah, this is super cool. For 2 generic mana, you get an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has Intimidate, and is a black zombie. Wow. Just turns it into a zombie straight up. Whenever a non-token, it gives it fear, essentially. Whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 4. If you do, return that card to the battlefield and attach Nim Deathmantle to it. Equip 4. That's cool. I think that's pretty interesting. Surreal Memoir, Jeskai Charm, Domestication. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if that is or not. Pretty interesting. Nope. Okay, next up. Combos with Brea and EDH. What are we talking about, WoWo? Ooh, our Cat Dragon token. Doesn't have the colors on there. It's pretty odd. First, ooh, foil Bloodbraid Elf with for green, red, and 2, you get a 3/2 creature Elf Berserker with haste and Cascade. This is a well-known card. It's a real pain in the tuchus, but it's interesting. Abzan Charm. Not as interesting. Ooh, first rare is Mana Drain. Is an instant. You get for blue, you get an instant. Mythic rare. Counter target spell at the beginning of your next main phase at an amount of colorless mana equal to that spell's mana value. So the only counter spell in Magic with that is strictly better than the original counter spell. This one does what the original counter spell does, plus it adds mana to you at the beginning of your next main phase. So if you counter something big with this, you're going to have a lot of colorless mana floating. Yeah, that's a really good counter spell. Always a mythic, right? I think. That's interesting. I'll take that mythic. Nim Deathmantle combos with Brea. Okay. Yeah, so I haven't played much Commander, which is something I need to rectify, but so I don't know what the plan is for Commander decks. I don't know what they're supposed to do and what the key cards are essentially. So, but I'm sure that'll come with time. Prized Amalgam, not nearly as exciting or interesting. Devoted Druid is an interesting uncommon Rancor, and a full art Wall of Omens. That's cool. And then, oh, well, I mean, Mana Drain is a really good hit on that pack. Cryptic Spires, Stagger Shock, Weather Changeling, Vidalcan Orrery. For 4 generic mana, you get an artifact. You may cast spells as though they had flash. That's a pretty strong ability. Yeah, probably a commander staple, I'm guessing. Conquerors Flail. For 2 generic, you get an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control. And as long as Conqueror's Flail is attached to a creature, your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. I mean, that's really cool. Orrery is a Josh Lee staple. I'll take it. Firemind Vessel. I don't know. It's not that interesting. Yeah, Orrery seems like, I mean, I would play that card in basically every commander deck. It seems like that's just really good. Firemind Vessel, Cold Steel Heart, Prophetic Bolt. And then anything... Oh, we have an interesting Burning Tree Emissary. Or commons. Sort of just kicking back today at work. I'm supposed to be learning Rust, which is kind of cool, but I am not doing that at the moment. I watched a 5-hour video yesterday, and I have another one to watch today, so I'm just getting in some magic time so I can settle down and do what I need to do. Ooh, we have a extended full art borderless Bloom Tender for 3 and 1. You get a creature elf druid, and it taps for, you get a 1/1 creature elf druid. Tap for each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. So best case, he can give you Wooburg. That doesn't suck. It's pretty interesting. Rafik of the Many, blue, white, green, and 1, 4 total mana. You get a 3/3 legendary creature, Human Knight, with Exalted. So if he attacks alone, that means that he gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until the end of the turn. So if he attacks by himself, he'd be 4/4 with double strike. Which, yeah, that's pretty cool. Abzan Charm, Orzhov Basilica. Interesting. Greyblade Marauder. Interesting because it's extended art. Spell Pierce. And you have Blondkin. Dauntless Escort. For white, green, and 1, you get a 3/3 creature Rhino Soldier. Sacrifice Dauntless Escort. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Thistledown Liege. White-blue hybrid, and 1. So 4 total mana. You get a 1/3 creature Kithkin Knight. With Flash, other white creatures you control get +1/+1, and other blue creatures you control get +1/+1. Orrery, Court says Orrery is a good card for sure. He needs to get himself a borderless copy. I want to say I have one of those laying around. Let me take a look at that. Oh, Unearth. That's interesting, just because it's full art, or rather extended art. Yeah. Got a Drake, Cryptic Spires, Vampiric Rites foil, an Anointer of Valor foil, and a extended art Chaos Warp. Chaos Warp with this is Phil Fogolio, another original Magic artist. For red and 2, you get an instant. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent card, they put it onto the battlefield. So that's pretty cool. It's a way to dunk your opponent for a little bit. It's interesting. Dromoka's Command. For white-green, you get an instant. Choose 2 modes. First mode, prevent all damage. Target instant or sorcery spell would deal this turn. Second mode, target player sacrifices an enchantment. Third, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. And fourth, target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Breakthrough, Sprouting Thrinax, Boros Garrison. And nothing too interesting. Yeah, the Chaos Warp is gorgeous. Fogolio does good work. It's definitely his own unique style, and it's awesome. I feel like it harkens back to the way Magic was supposed to be, not all serious and about money. It was about these wonderful cards with art and game, like a game piece that has art on it. Anyway, ooh, a Ren and 6 token. That's cool. I think that might be worth money. I'm not sure. Arachnus Web and Is It Charm, Fire Song and Sunspeaker for white, red, and 4. Oh, I wasn't making a pile of interesting, so WoWo asks, can you put that Ren and 6 emblem in the interesting pile to keep? I forgot that you only want me to send you the interesting cards, so I will do that. I can send you the interesting cards and the foils, right? Probably. Even you want the foil commons? Let me know. All right, sorry. Fire Song, and so I have interesting tokens now. I'll just put them over here. So 6 total mana. You get a 4/6 legendary creature, Minotaur Cleric. Red instant and sorcery spells you control have lifelink. Whenever a white instant or sorcery spell causes you to gain life, Fire Song and Sunspeaker deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Cool, but not too interesting. Pillar of the Parunes. Land, tap to add 1 mana of any color, and spend this mana only to cast a multicolored spell. I don't think this is interesting. Let me know if you do. WoWo. I'm just talking to WoWo there, because this is his box. So he's the one letting me know which ones are interesting to him. Well, I'm glad he's here to experience the stream with everyone else. Spider, Cryptic Spires, Earthbolt, and Lamelate. Kalia of the Vast. I mean, I think she's interesting. She's a mythic, so I'll send it, obviously. Black, white, and red in 1, so 4 total mana. You get a 2/2 legendary creature, Human Cleric, with flying. Whenever Kalia of the Vast attacks an opponent, you may put an angel, demon, or dragon creature from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking that opponent. Thrumming Stone, Ripple 4 for 5 generic mana. That's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna send you all the rares too, so you're basically getting everything except for the bulk, right? Let me know if you want the Cryptic Spires. Stagger Shock. You may just touch, and a Borderless Mole Drifter. That's pretty cool. Alright. Getting there. Brindle Shout, Forbidden Alchemy. Mizzix of the Ismagnus for Mythic Rare. For red, blue, and 2, 4 total mana, you get a 2/2 legendary creature, Goblin Wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value greater than the number of experience counters you have, you get an experience counter. Okay? Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each experience counter you have. Oh, that's neat. That seems like that's a good commander. Mael's Area. So for white, green, and red, you get an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control if you control a creature with power 5 or greater. Then you gain 10 life if you control a creature with power 10 or greater. Then you win the game if you control a creature with power 20 or greater. Note that that if is not an intervening if. If it was, it would be there, right? These ifs are part of the resolution of the spell. So this trigger goes on the stack right at the beginning of your upkeep, and then you can cast a spell maybe to increase the power of your creature somehow, right? Note the double strike will not count. It will need to be a 1919 for this trigger to win the game for you. At least a 1919. That's pretty cool. Travel preparations. So for green and oh no, these are not rares. I'm a little bit out of it today. It's okay though. Finally doing this. WoWo has been waiting for a while. No, you don't want cryptic spires, and yes, everything but the bulk. Okay. And you. Ooh, that was cool. That was cool if I had meant to do it. Expires Unearth and Ether Snipe. Ashenmoor Liege. So Ashenmoor Liege for Rakdos, and 1 for total mana. You get a 4/1 creature, Elemental Knight. Other black creatures you control get +1/+1, and other red creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever Ashenmoor Liege becomes the target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, that player loses 4 life. Ulacht, the Hate Seed. So for sorry, that's amazing. That's an amazing name. For green, red, and 2, 4 total mana, you get a 0/0 legendary creature, Hellion Hydra. Ulacht, the Hate Seed, enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each other red creature you control, and a +1/+1 counter on it for each other green creature you control. And for 1, and remove a +1/+1 counter from Ulacht. Choose 1. Ulacht deals 1 damage to your target creature, sorry, it doesn't see your, or create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. Interesting. I mean, the name is the best part of that card, I feel. No offense, Ulacht. There's going to be a lot of cryptic spires floating around. Bat Charm, Augur Spree, Force of Negation. That's interesting. For blue, and 1, you get an instant. If it's not your turn, you may exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Counter target non-creature spell. If that spell is countered in this way, exile it instead of putting it in its owner's graveyard. So this is the fixed force of will, I guess, because you can only pitch a card to it when it's not your turn. That's pretty good. And ooh, that's a good pack, man. Ulamog, the Infinite Gyre. 11 generic mana for a 10/10 legendary creature Eldrazi. Let me just point out that this is a good target for adding +1/+1 counters to. When you cast this spell, destroy target permanent. It is indestructible. They are indestructible, and it has Annihilator 4, which is whenever this creature attacks, defending player sacrifices 4 permanents. When Ulamog, the Infinite Gyre, is put into a graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles their graveyard into their library. Put that in an interesting pile. Yeah, definitely nice hits. Civic Saber, Bear's Companion. Ooh, Extended Art Terminate. I'm trying to track them over there because that's where the trash can is. Fairy Rogue, Cryptic Spires, Conclave Mentor, Elvish Rejuvenator, Supreme Verdict, one of my favorite spells of all time. For blue, white, and 1, 4 total mana, you get a sorcery. This spell can't be countered and destroy all creatures. Classic. Second from rare is Rune of the Hidden Realm. For blue, white, green, and 2, 5 total mana, you get a 4/4 legendary creature Rhino Soldier with Vigilance and Trample. For 2 and tap, exile another target creature, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So you could attack with this dude and then blink something. That's pretty cool. You could blink mid-combat as a combat trick as well. Because because it doesn't say your, it says another target creature, not your creature. Good. Experiment 1, isn't that a... This is a downgrade, right? Because it was an Experiment 1, I want to say it was a rare. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Sorry, not downgrade, downshift. The Guildmaid, Pirate's Pillage, a full extended art surgical extraction for a Phyrexian mana. So Phyrexian mana you can pay, in this case, 1 black or 2 life. You get an instant. Oh, it says that right there. Reminder text. Choose target card in a graveyard other than a basic land card. Search its owner's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. Then that player shuffles. Experiment 1 was an uncommon and gate crash. Thanks, WoWo. What the heck? You got Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn. So, 2 of the Titans. This has been a pretty good box, I think. For 15 generic mana, you get a 15/15 legendary creature Eldrazi. This spell can't be countered. When you cast this spell, it takes an extra turn after this one. Flying, protection from spells. It has flying. It has protection from spells that are 1 or more colors, and it has Annihilator 6. It's like a book. When Emrakul and the Aeon's Torn is put into a graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles that graveyard into their library. 15/15. Goodness. That is indeed extended art Blood Artist. That is indeed a Titan. In many ways, it's a Titan. Okay. Ooh. It's getting warm in here, so I'm thinking I need to go adjust the window situation. Right now, all my windows are closed because I'm trying to broadcast. So. Zombie, Spires, Seeker of the Way, Thrive, and Imperial Archangel. So for blue, white, green, and 4, so that's 8 total mana, you get a 5/8 creature angel with flying and shroud. All damage that would be dealt to you is dealt to Imperial Archangel instead. So shroud was hexproof before hexproof was a thing. Hexproof was supposed to be the fixed shroud, but it turns out hexproof is also degenerate. So now they have ward, and that seems to be working better. It makes it so you can target something if you pay the price for it, but for all intents and purposes it has hexproof because you really want to be using your mana in other ways, for the most part. But at least you have then the option to do it, which is, I think that's the right way to go. They fixed ward is really good. Shroud, though, that means you can't target it, your opponents can't target it, nobody can target it with anything. Master Biomancer, for blue, green, and 2, you get a 2/4 creature elf wizard. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on it equal to Master Biomancer's power, and as a mutant in addition to its other types. Note that it says in addition to its other types. When a magic card says this becomes a black zombie, that does not add to the types, that replaces the types. So it is a black, so if you have like a white knight, let's say, and you cast that card that makes it a black zombie, it is no longer a white knight. I mean, that's the name of it, right? That's the name of the card, but the card is black now. That was a bad example. I'm sorry. A Dream Shaper, Tower Gargoyle on Washout. Interesting. Spell Clears. Oh, say Monastery was pretty interesting. I don't know if we've seen those before. I don't think it's bulk. A foil Monastery Swiftspear, that's pretty cool. And a 10th District Legionnaire. First rare is Drogskull Reaver for blue, white, and 5, so 7 total mana. You get a 3/5 creature spirit. Flying, double strike, lifelink. Whenever you gain life, draw a card. I like that. That's a really good card. Luna's Prowler for black and 1. You get a 3/1 creature fairy rogue with flying. Discard a card, Luna's Prowler gets -2/-0 until end of turn. Any player may activate this ability. I'm guessing it's going to be your opponent's doing that though, not you. Spider Spawning, Psychic Symbiont, Body Double. Cloud Scour. Golden Oracle. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Oh, it just says potential spam on it. I will ignore potential spam. Sorry, just seeing how much noise my fan is making, and it's not too much. You guys can probably barely hear it as a hiss in the background. That's good. Rancor and Quasali Pride Mage. Doran the Siege Tower. This is a classic. Green, black, and white for a 0/5 legendary creature, Treefolk Shaman. Each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Classic butt damage. Obnixilis Unshackled for black, black, and 4. You get a 4/4 legendary creature, Demon, good old Obsy, with flying and trample. Whenever an opponent searches their library, that player sacrifices a creature and loses 10 life. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Obnixilis Unshackled. That's pretty cool. Realize, Conclave Mentor, and Inspire Adept. Egg, Crypt Expires, Review Captain, Lava Coil. Ooh, Phyrexian Altar. This is a classic. Another piece for aristocrats. 3 generic mana. You get an artifact that says sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any color. I mean, that's just the best sacrifice outlet there is. That's interesting. Karavek the Merciless for red, black, and 5. You get a 5/4 legendary creature, Human Shaman. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, Karavek the Merciless deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target. So, that's pretty cool. Very expensive, though. Shadowborn Apostle is interesting. 2 packs to go. Cat Dragon, I think that's pretty interesting. Expires a foil Simic Growth Chamber, a foil Might of Volcrosa, Hardened Scales. For a green, you get an enchantment. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on creatures you control, put that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. Yeah, so +1/+1 counter. Sidisi Brood Tyrant for blue, green, black, and 1, so 4 total mana. You get a 3/3 legendary creature, Naga Shaman. Whenever Sidisi Brood Tyrant enters the battlefield or attacks, mill 3 cards. Whenever 1 or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from your library, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. I like that. I like making zombies. I think that if I was going to build a commander deck out of cards that I own, I would probably build zombies. I realized that I got that Angel commander deck from Court a while ago, and I have not played it a single time. So take whatever I say about building stuff with a grain of salt. I've never built a commander deck, and my first one is going to be that sealed box commander deck that I opened the box for a while ago. Worm, Crypt Expires, a foil Vidalcan Orrery. I don't know if that satisfies your need for a fancy Orrery court. We've read that, but that's interesting. Foil Fireblade Artist, Surgical Extraction, Venser's Shaper Savant. For blue, blue, and 2, we have a 2/2 legendary creature, Human Wizard with Flash. When Venser, Shaper Savant, enters the battlefield, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. That's cool. It's expensive, but it's cool. Summer Bloom. Oh, these are the uncommons. And that's it. All right, well, I would say you got some pretty good hits there. Definitely got some nice cash cards out of that box. So congratulations. Thanks for letting me open it on stream. I really appreciate it. I love cracking packs, and I love showing off these things to people. I love showing Magic cards. I love teaching about Magic. It's kind of my passion, which I'm sure it's many of your passions as well. Anyway, thanks again for coming out, and to all of you, and have a nice day.